Welcome to another episode of College Cash Corner. We are your hosts, Tara,
Natalia,
and Victor.
Today we're going to be talking about financial myths related to credit cards and debt. Before we get started, I'd like to give a big shout out to the New Media Lab who helps make this podcast possible. I'll start with one. We often hear this from other people, and I think I used to think this too, is that credit cards should be avoided altogether.
Yes.
I think that myth comes from a lot of people have credit card debt and are trying to manage that. It's out there that, don't use credit cards. It'll just set you into debt.
I think there was another big influencer that talked about to not use credit. I think it was Dave Ramsey, where he said to not use credit cards and to just avoid it in general.
He is very anti-credit.
Yes.
He's very anti-loans, too. Dave Ramsey has an amazing process for getting out of debt. But credit cards aren't
a bad thing.
They aren't a bad thing.
Yeah.
Because a lot of them have really good rewards related to them. It's the management of the credit, of using that credit card. That makes all the difference.
Yeah, another myth that I have listened to related with credit cards is that a credit card is going to make you poor. All that debt is going to consume you and is going to make you poor. I think that's is a really bad management of a credit card, not the credit card making you poor. Like, they are not taking your money out. You are choosing to spend that money. I think we need to stop blaming credit cards for it.
And we need to take a hard look at how are we paying back that debt. The best practice for using a credit card and to avoid debt, you only spend what you can pay back when that bill comes due, and that you can pay back in full. As long as you're paying the balance in full when the bill comes, you're never going to pay interest on that, and it won't put you in debt. You just have to have a plan, when you start using a credit card, and then the credit card company has to pay you those rewards for using the credit card, even though they're not making any money off of you, because they make their money by the interest payments. Do you guys remember what the term is that credit card companies have for people who pay off their balance every month?
I forgot.
No, isn't it like it's some word that I'm like
Deadbeat.
There you go. I guess that'd be the only time I'll smile to be called a deadbeat.
You're right.
I think there's a lot of myth related with the credit score. Applying for a new credit card won't affect your credit score, or if I pay less than the monthly minimum to my credit card, this won't count as missed payments for my credit score. So I think there's a lot related with credit score or misinformation. Like in previous episodes, we talk about a good management of a credit card. You will just use 30% of your credit available. Not a lot of people know that. Every time that I say that fact, a lot of people is looking at me like, what are you talking about?
And to be honest, I didn't even know about the utilization part of a credit score until about 2 years ago. I knew you needed to make your payments on time and pay at least the minimum payment. That's a huge part of your overall credit score. Yeah, I didn't know about the utilization. And the utilization is the carryover. Because I've had people say, well, wait a minute. So if I have $1,000 credit limit, I can only use it. I can only spend in 1 month up to $300.
No.
I'm like, no. You don't want to carry over to the next month more than $300. Right. So if you spend $999, but then when the bill comes, you pay the $999?
Yes. Or that you should close your unused credit cards, and now you're not using it, close it.
I think it's 10% of your overall credit score is based on credit history. So if you have a credit card that's real old and you don't use it, keep it. Use it every once in a while, because that's your longest credit history. I have my credit card, the one that I got when I was 18, and I haven't closed it. I want to close it because I like having less, but I won't because it's my longest credit history.
Isn't it true that if you don't use it for a certain amount of time, they close it, not you?
It's possible. It's possible that they might close it. You'll get notified before they close it, so that could be an indication of let me
spend on some gas.
Yeah, let me pay for gas for one time on it. Yeah.
Or if they are updating the system or the type of rewards, more likely they will telling you or notifying you like, oh, we don't offer that type of rewards anymore.
I do have a myth that's kind of related to that, but having multiple credit cards is bad for you.
Oh.
Like, don't get that confused as opening. I'm just saying owning.
Yes.
Yeah, there is a myth of the more credit cards I'm carrying in my wallet or purse, the better this will be for my credit score.
the better it'll be for your credit score.
Mm-hmm. Like as many cards that you open, you have better. And I think it's just make it more vulnerable, right?
It depends. I mean, I know people who have 40 credit cards, but they don't carry any debt on it, right? And they do the rewards game. So some of it's travel rewards, some of it's restaurant rewards, some of it, they have time to manage that, I guess. You can have a lot of credit cards, and as long as you're paying off the balance of all of them, the ones that you're using each month, it's fine. You don't want to open a lot, like Victor started to say, you don't want to open a whole bunch at once, because that sends up a big red flag that you're financially struggling.
But if you own them, it shows that you're responsible.
Yeah, and then you have to be careful if you are carrying a balance of that utilization. Yeah, having a lot of credit cards doesn't mean that you're going to have a better credit score. You can have one credit card and have a terrible credit score. But you can also have a good credit score with just one credit card. One of them I had was you should carry over at least a little bit of money each month on your credit card, because that will boost your credit score.
I mean, I can understand why people might think that.
Why might they think that?
I think that people think that the banks want to make business of you, which is true. But so if you're leaving a balance, the bank is gonna say like, oh, I'm making business of this person, so let me open more their limit, so people are able to spend more. And because they are carrying a balance, this means that they are not able to pay. And I'm going to make a bigger business if...
Okay. Yeah, they're not going to stop you from making just minimum payments, because all that interest, that's what the credit card company is making. That's where they're making their money. The people pushing that myth that you need to carry a credit card balance is pushed by the credit card companies.
Yes, absolutely.
Because they're making the money from that. So you don't need to carry a balance to keep your credit score up. That's completely false. One of them is that making minimum payments on credit cards is totally fine. Yeah, what do you think?
Yeah, making minimum payments is what is the word mean, minimum. Like it's the bare minimum that you should be doing to pay that debt, but the right thing to do will be to just pay off that debt.
Right. Like pay off all the full debt.
The full.
Yeah. What if the minimum payments are all that you can afford at the time? Was making the minimum payment fine then?
Yeah.
Just budget.
Yeah,
yes.
Exactly.
So making the minimum payments for your credit score, it is fine. If you're making minimum payment on time, your credit score is not going to be affected. I use my credit card. I spend $100. I get my bill, right? And it says, well, you owe $100. But the minimum payment is $15. I could just pay them $15 and I'm good. But then I'm going to carry over an $85 balance to the next month. And now I'm going to have to start paying interest on that amount of money. Where that becomes not good practice is I spent $100 and I have $100 that I could pay this off. I did a little researching on to explain the difference between making minimum payments versus paying in full. Let's use an example. Carrying a balance of $500. And I'm using the average percent of 24% interest. I stop using my credit card. I have a balance of $500 on this credit card, and I only make the minimum payments. Minimum payment will be 1 to 3% of the overall amount due. All right. So 3% of $500 is $15. And my goal is to pay off that $500, making my minimum payments of $15. It will take me 4 years and 8 months to pay it off.
Oh.
I will end up paying $333 of interest. So that means my $500 now became a $833 payment overall. If I double my monthly payment, I pay $30 a month. It'll take me 1 year, 9 months. So I shave off 3 years just by doubling my minimum payment.
Because you're paying pretty much 1 year of just interest.
I would end up only paying $115 of interest instead of $333.
So you're saving money.
So I'm saving money. Again, the best thing to do is pay off the balance. But sometimes we end up in a situation that we can't. If you can do even just a little bit more than a minimum payment, it's always better.
We have normalized that. A lot of people surrounding you have that. You think it's fine. And it's not a bad thing as long as you are using that debt to, or like it has a purpose and you have a plan for it, in that sense, it is not a bad idea to be in debt. Overall, we have normalized that having debt is okay, and it's not. There's like a phrase that we were talking the other day, that borrowing money from a friend or family member or even a bank is stealing money from your future self if you're consumed by your credit cards and your debt.
I do have one more miss.
Sure.
Some people think that if you close a credit card that has a loan, that it would erase it.
In fact, a lot of times they won't close it until you pay it off.
Yeah, I was gonna say, how is that possible? Like, they let you close it?
They wouldn't let you close it.
But say, like, let's say the bank or whatever you're having the credit card with, like, they do allow you to close it, it will still be in your credit report for many, many years. Technically it's gone, but at the same time it's still present in your credit report.
They have to make a deal with you for paying back a portion of that debt, or they wipe it clean. Whatever that deal is, it shows up on your credit report, which means that any other loans that you're going to try to take for the next, it could be 7 to 10 years, it's going to show that happened, and you're not going to get a good interest rate, or you're going to get denied the loan altogether. Before we go, we want our listeners to remember that college is your gateway to a brighter financial future. At MCC, we're here to help you master your money. Visit the financial literacy section of our financial aid website to book a one-on-one appointment, access your free cash course account, and stay updated on workshops and events. Stay informed, stay savvy, and keep climbing.